got these little silk flowers over at the craft store for like $6.99, and I think they were even on sale. So I'm going to take these apart and show you how to make some magic out of them. I've already taken off some of the flowers, and you just basically pop them off and then take them apart. Super easy. And what I like to do is I like to just put everything in piles, and then from there we're going to build up our own version of that flower. I've never done this particular silk flower, so we're going to explore it together. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is get myself a little base to work off of. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be covering that up. First thing I'm going to do is put a nice, good, generous dollop of glue on top of that. You could use this for your flower girl. You can use it for yourself. What we're going to do with this flower is now I'm going to take this petal and I'm going to basically just go right smack on top of that glue right there. Now I saved these little centers that were in the middle. They use those to make the petals kind of stand out a little bit, and that's an option we can do, but it does add a little color in the center, and because this is bridal, I'm kind of wanting it to be white. So what I did is I actually made they were like little donuts of felt, and I'm not going to use them for every one, but eventually I'm going to use them to kind of help to bring up those petals a little bit. And now with the next one, I just kind of do another generous dollop of glue, and all we're going to do is we're going to keep layering over and over again. Now I don't like to land them like this. I like to tear them like that. It adds a little bit more interest to it and also helps with the petals to go up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to use one of those little donuts because I want this to continue to kind of go up in the center. Another thing that's kind of fun is you could add little bits of lace into the petals just to add some interest. That'd be kind of fun to do that, wouldn't it? Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's fun. So I'm going to just go ahead and use that lace because I kind of like that little bit that's coming out. It looks cute. I'm going to cut it back a little bit so that little bits of lace are coming out. And I think we'll do one more of these. And I'm going to add it back down in here so it's kind of in the same rhythm of the flower. And I love how it kind of tears out a little bit from there so you can kind of see the lace. And I'm going to just keep going and layering those bits and pieces. I think that flower is beautiful. Why don't we get to the next step, which is putting in the center. Now for the center of the flower, it's really simple. You could just throw a button in the middle, which looks elegant and beautiful. There are all kinds of buttons, old vintage buttons, little crystal buttons. You could bead a little pearl center for a large center like that, which looks very beautiful. For this beautiful flower, I found this lovely vintage style crystal button. It has a lot of character and it's really unique, and I kind of want this to feel like an artisan style fascinator. So I think this is going to be perfect center for my flower. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pop a hole in there, and now I've got a good hole to do my next step, which is going to be sew this on. And I'm going to basically attach my little invisible thread to that shank. The button is now attached to the invisible thread, and I take that needle and I go through our hole that we made. Now to further get that on there, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue, and I'm going to sink that into that glue and then just kind of get it in there real good. And now we're just going to sew that button in. I'll finish this up and we're going to head to the next step, which is the clip. Now we're going to put the clip on so we can get this in the hair. Before I do, I'm going to put a little tuft of ostrich. And this is just ostrich that I get that's damaged. And now you're going to take a little tuft like I just pulled off, cutting that little tip off, put a little bit of glue right at the end of it, and now I have a tuft. And I think a little tuft in the back would kind of create a little bit of movement. I take my scissors and I do a little how you curl ribbon. And that gives it a little bit of movement. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the clip. It's real easy. What I do is I take some felt and I do exactly how we did the base, and then I cover it in a little bit of lace, and this is the lace that I actually used inside of there. That kind of decorates it because this part is what I'm going to put the clip on. And so I'm going to take a little baby clip. I'm going to put a dollop of glue on there, just like that. And then with my invisible thread, all I do is I open that little alligator up, and then I sew right in between there. And I do that maybe, 5 or 6 times, give a good lock in there. All right, now that that's all on, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just put a ton of glue back here, all the way to the edge, because we want those edges to really lay flat. And if you're looking for more fascinator ideas, I have a playlist, Fascinated by Fascinators, and you will see a peonies flower that I shape with fire and a lovely feather flower fascinator that you can make real easy with marabou feathers. Absolutely beautiful. Thanks for dropping in.